In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains lies a place few dare to speak of, Witch's Hollow. Its name alone sends shivers down the spine of those familiar with its dark history. For centuries, it has been a land shrouded in mystery and fear. Locals speak of Witch's Hollow in hushed tones, warning travelers of its eerie reputation. Tales abound of those who ventured into its depths, never to return, leaving only faint echoes of their presence. The woods are said to be alive, watching and waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting. Many have tried to uncover the secrets of Witch's Hollow, but few have succeeded. Stories of disappearances are as old as the mountains themselves, passed down like chilling bedtime stories. Those who enter often speak of an indescribable weight pressing down upon them, as if the air is charged with ominous energy. But it's not just tales of vanished wanderers that give Witch's Hollow its fearsome reputation. There are whispers of something more sinister, a figure known as the Man with No Face, appearing at twilight, a harbinger of doom. Descriptions are scarce, for those who see it rarely live to tell the tale. The legend of the Man with No Face is intertwined with the history of Witch's Hollow. Some say he is a guardian of the woods, a spirit bound to its ancient trees. Others believe he is a malevolent force, feeding on fear and despair. As the sun sets and shadows grow long, the woods seem to come alive with a tangible sense of dread. It's a place where reality and nightmare blur, where the rustle of leaves sends chills down your spine, and the hoot of an owl becomes a sinister omen. For those who dare to enter Witch's Hollow, there is one certainty: once you step into its embrace, you may never find your way back. The woods hold their secrets close, and those who seek them out do so at their own peril. Heed the warnings and remember the stories of those who vanished without a trace. As you stand on the edge of Witch's Hollow, listen to the whispers of the wind, and ask yourself if you are truly prepared to face what lies within. In Witch's Hollow, the forgotten woods, the past is never truly gone, and the shadows of the night are ever watchful, waiting to claim their next victim. In 1997, the Jacobs family embarked on a journey that would forever alter their lives. Seeking solace from the relentless pace of city life, they moved to a remote cabin deep within the Appalachian Mountains. The air was crisp, the surroundings serene, offering deceptive promises of peace. Mark and Sarah Jacobs, along with their young daughter Lily, hoped this secluded haven would be the perfect place to reconnect. Initially, the cabin embraced them with open arms. The whispers of the wind through the trees and the gentle rustle of leaves lulled them into comfort. They spent days exploring the woods, nights gathered around a warm fire, sharing stories and laughter. But as weeks passed, the woods began to reveal their secrets. It started subtly. Lily, with her vivid imagination, began talking about a new friend. At first, Mark and Sarah dismissed it as the innocent musings of a child. Lily spoke of him fondly, describing him as someone who always watched over her, but never showed his face. She called him the Man with No Face. Unease crept in like the fog rolling through the valley each morning. Sarah noticed changes in Lily. Her bright demeanor became shadowed by inexplicable fear. She often woke from nightmares, trembling, whispering about the faceless friend who visited her dreams. Mark tried to reassure her, attributing it to their new life adjustment, but tension was palpable. As the sun dipped below the horizon each evening, casting long shadows that danced eerily against the cabin walls, the unease grew stronger. The woods, once a place of adventure, now seemed to harbor unseen eyes, watching, waiting. The isolation they sought began to feel like a trap. One unsettling evening, Sarah stumbled upon Lily's drawings scattered across her room. Each one more disturbing than the last, images of a faceless figure looming over their cabin, surrounded by dark, twisted trees. Mark and Sarah's concern deepened. They spoke in hushed tones after Lily went to bed, trying to make sense of the strange occurrences. Was it merely a child's imagination, or was something more sinister at play? The lines between reality and imagination blurred, leaving them questioning their senses. Despite their growing apprehension, they hoped Lily would soon forget her imaginary friend, and the woods would once again become a refuge. But deep down, they both knew something had shifted, a darkness had settled over their lives, as insidious as the Man with No Face haunting their daughter's dreams. The Jacobs family came seeking solitude, but found an unsettling presence unraveling their peaceful existence. As shadows lengthened and nights grew colder, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone, watched from the depths of the forgotten woods. The woods around the Jacobs cabin seemed to breathe with a life of their own. As weeks passed, an unsettling presence seeped into the family's everyday life. It started subtly, with strange carvings appearing on the trees surrounding their home, intricate symbols etched into the bark, each more ominous than the last. Lily, the youngest of the Jacobs, had always been a child of vivid imagination. But now, her stories took on a darker tone, casting a shadow over the once cozy cabin. She spoke of a man who wandered the woods, a figure with no face, who whispered secrets only she could hear. Her parents, Mark and Sarah, initially dismissed Lily's stories as a child's overactive imagination. Yet, as the carvings multiplied and Lily's stories grew more disturbing, a cold fear gripped their hearts. The once peaceful woods now seemed to close in around them, as if watched by unseen eyes. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside, became a reminder of their growing unease. Nights were the worst, when darkness pressed against the windows, and the wind carried the distant echo of a child's laughter, Lily's laughter, yet somehow different, twisted by the woods. Mark noticed other oddities. Objects in the cabin shifted from their places, doors that were closed found ajar, and faint footsteps paced the halls at night. Each occurrence chipped away at their sense of safety, leaving them feeling exposed and vulnerable. Despite their mounting fear, the Jacobs tried to maintain normalcy. But the weight of the wood's secrets was too great. The sense of isolation grew with each passing day, as if the cabin itself was a trap, ensnaring them in a web of mystery and fear. Tension within the family rose, fraying nerves and straining relationships. Mark and Sarah found themselves on edge, snapping at each other over trivial matters, their patience worn thin by sleepless nights and constant anxiety. As the woods revealed their sinister nature, the Jacobs were forced to confront the reality that their sanctuary had become a prison. The carvings, whispers, and Lily's haunting stories pointed to a truth they could no longer ignore. Something ancient and malevolent lurked in the forgotten woods, and it had set its sights on them. With each passing day, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving the Jacobs trapped in a waking dream from which there seemed to be no escape. The woods, once a place of solitude and peace, had transformed into a realm of terror and uncertainty, where every shadow held the promise of danger. As the family grappled with their fear, they couldn't shake the feeling that time was running out. The woods were closing in, and the man with no face was drawing nearer. Their only hope was to unravel the mystery before it was too late, before the woods claimed them as it had claimed so many before. The storm raged that night, echoing the chaos within the Jacobs cabin. Lightning split the sky, and thunder rolled like an ominous drumbeat. Amidst nature's fury, a profound silence fell upon the Jacobs family. Lily, their beloved daughter, was gone. In the heart of the storm, she vanished, swallowed by the woods that surrounded them. Mark and Sarah, her parents, were left with nothing but the howling wind and relentless rain, their calls for Lily lost in the tempest. The cabin, once a refuge, now felt like a prison, its walls closing in with despair. Panic-stricken, Mark and Sarah scoured every inch of the cabin, hoping Lily was merely hiding, playing one of her games. But the truth was undeniable: Lily was nowhere to be found. Desperation gnawed at them, a relentless beast refusing to be tamed. In their frantic search, they stumbled upon something they had never seen before: a journal, dusty and forgotten, hidden beneath loose floorboards. Its cover was worn, pages yellowed with age, yet it held a chilling promise of revelation. With trembling hands, Sarah opened it, her eyes scanning pages filled with hurried scribbles and cryptic warnings. "Beware the Faceless One," the journal whispered through its ink. "He is not a man. He waits. He watches. He takes." Mark felt a chill run down his spine, colder than the rain soaking through his clothes. The faceless entity, Lily's imaginary friend, the one she spoke of in hushed tones. It was all too real, its presence suffocating. Each page revealed more about the entity, a shadow lurking in the wood's periphery, unseen yet ever present. "Do not look at him. Do not follow the voices," the journal warned. but it was too late. The voices had already called to Lily, and she had answered. The storm intensified, as if nature mourned the loss of the little girl. Mark and Sarah clung to each other, the journal between them, a fragile barrier against encroaching darkness. They knew they had to act, to venture into the storm and the woods that claimed their daughter. Yet fear rooted them to the spot, a paralyzing force whispering of the futility of their search. The Faceless Man was a legend, a ghost story to scare children. But the journal spoke of him as a reality, a terror haunting these woods for generations. With each passing moment, the storm grew more violent, urging them to leave, to abandon hope and accept their loss. But Mark and Sarah were not ready to give up. They would fight the storm, the woods, and whatever lay within. As they prepared to leave the cabin, the journal slipped from Sarah's grasp, falling open to a page that had been overlooked. He is drawn to fear, it read. To the lost and the lonely. He thrives in the shadows of despair. It was a warning, a message from those who faced the Faceless Man and lived to tell the tale. But it was also a glimmer of hope, a reminder that not all who entered the woods were lost forever. With renewed determination, Mark and Sarah stepped into the storm, the journal their guide, their hope. They would find Lily. They would bring her home. But as they left the cabin's safety, they knew they were not alone. The Faceless Man was watching, waiting, and the woods were his domain. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, where the forgotten woods held its secrets close, the story of the Jacobs family was far from over. The storm would pass, but the legend of the Faceless Man would endure, a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows, unseen yet ever present. Driven by desperation, Mark Jacobs plunged deeper into the heart of the forgotten woods. Each step echoed with the whispers of the trees, urging him onward, yet warning him to turn back. The air grew colder, shadows darker, as if the forest conspired to keep its secrets hidden. Mark's mind raced with thoughts of his daughter Lily and wife Sarah. The stormy night when Lily vanished replayed in his head like a haunting melody, each memory a reminder of his failure to protect her. But he couldn't give up. Not now. His heart pounded, a relentless drumbeat of fear and determination. As he ventured further, the woods seemed to close in. Branches reached out like skeletal hands, and the ground beneath his feet felt alive, shifting in sync with his heartbeat. In the distance, he thought he heard a faint cry, a voice that might have been Sarah's, or perhaps just the wind playing cruel tricks. Then, in a clearing, he saw it. The figure that haunted his nightmares since Lily disappeared. The man with no face. It stood motionless, an eerie silhouette against the pale moonlight. Mark's breath caught, his body frozen with terror. The faceless entity drew the very light from the air, casting an unnatural darkness. Mark knew he should run, but his feet remained rooted. The figure exuded a presence both captivating and horrifying, an inexplicable force holding him in place. It was as if the Faceless Man was not just a being, but the embodiment of the wood's malevolent spirit. In that moment of paralysis, Mark felt a shift in the air. A chilling realization that he was not alone. He turned, searching the shadows, and there she was. Sarah. Or at least, what had once been Sarah. Her eyes wide with terror, her face a mask of silent screams. Then, in a blink, she was gone, swallowed by the darkness. The loss hit Mark like a blow, knocking the breath from his lungs. He staggered back, mind reeling. Sarah's disappearance unraveled his world, leaving him alone in the wood's suffocating embrace. Desperation turned to despair. The woods had claimed them, just as they had claimed so many before. The Faceless Man was not just a specter of fear, but a guardian of this cursed place, ensuring its secrets remained hidden. With a last look at where Sarah vanished, Mark fled. The forest closed in behind him, erasing any trace of his passage, ensuring no one would know what transpired within its depths. As he ran, Mark understood the woods were not just a place, but a living entity, a dark heart beating with the memories of all it consumed. The man with no face had taken his family, sealing their fate in the annals of the forgotten woods, a mystery haunting those who dared to enter for generations. In the aftermath of the Jacobs family's disappearance, the cabin stands silent and abandoned, a haunting relic of what once was. When searchers finally stumbled upon the cabin, they found it empty, stripped of any signs of life. Yet, amidst the stillness, one artifact remained, a journal filled with frantic warnings and chilling accounts. The journal spoke of a faceless entity, a shadowy presence looming over the Jacobs family, unseen yet ever present. Each entry painted a picture of growing dread, of an unseen terror creeping closer with each passing day. The words pulsed with urgency, a desperate plea from those vanished into the wood's void. The man with no face is not a man, one entry warned. He waits. He watches. He takes. Another urged, don't look at him. Don't follow the voices. These cryptic messages hinted at a horror beyond comprehension, a force defying understanding, leaving only fear in its wake. The journal's words were a testament to the terror unfolded within those walls, a legacy of fear refusing to be silenced. It was a warning to all who dared venture into the forgotten woods, a reminder of the price paid by those who sought to unravel its mysteries. As investigators closed the journal, a heavy silence settled over the cabin. The legacy of the Jacobs family, their final moments captured in ink, lingered like a ghostly presence. The faceless entity, though unseen, left its mark, a chilling reminder of the darkness lurking in the Appalachian Mountains. The tale of the Jacobs family remains a cautionary legend, passed down through hushed whispers. The forgotten woods continue to beckon the curious and brave, but the legacy of those who vanished serves as a stark warning. In those woods, the boundary between reality and nightmare blurs, and not all who enter will find their way back. In the shadowy embrace of the Appalachian Mountains lies a place few dare to tread, the forgotten woods. Over the years, tales of its eerie allure have whispered through the towns, drawing in the curious and thrill-seekers. Yet, as many have ventured into its depths, far fewer have returned to tell the tale. The woods hold secrets beyond the natural, where the air hums with a sinister energy. Among the trees, an ominous presence lingers, the faceless man. His legend is as old as the woods, a specter watching, waiting, claiming those who wander too far. For the Jacobs family, what began as a search for peace became a descent into terror. Their story is but one of many punctuating the wood's history, each a grim reminder of the dangers lurking beyond the light. The journal they left serves as a testament to their ordeal, pages filled with frantic warnings echoing cries of those before. Yet, despite these warnings, the woods continue to beckon. Calling the brave, the foolhardy, and the desperate, promising secrets untold. But heed this warning, the faceless man is not a mere tale. He is the guardian of these woods, a harbinger of doom for those who ignore the signs. As the sun dips below the horizon and shadows stretch long, remember the stories of those who vanished. Remember the fear etched into the journal's pages. If you find yourself at the edge of the forgotten woods, turn back. For not all who enter will find their way home. The haunting legacy of the Jacobs family serves as a chilling reminder of the price of curiosity. Beware the forgotten woods, where the faceless man waits, eternally patient, eternally watching.